not only is everything that life involves and everything in life in itself is challenging, opposing, contradictory, suffering, painful, tragical in one way or another, not only is everything inside and within life and also in the human beings a challenge, opposition, contradiction in itself, but life in itself is the epitome of not only unconditional suffering and lack of natural, intrinsic purpose, meaning, significance, authenticity, or it's devoid of and disconnected from obviously predestined power, purpose, significance, but it's also the heart of suffering, struggle, challenge in itself in one way or another. And that means if we have life, we have challenges, struggles, sufferings, because to live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in that suffering. And that means for as long as we're living, we are going to have to continue to suffer, struggle from a lot of pain, tragedy, suffering, trauma, loss in one way or another. But when we go into the survival mode, when we choose to survive instead of living, when we contemplate and develop awareness, contemplation, and other very critical spiritual and mental powers, then definitely that becomes a survival. And in that survival, in our choosing for survival, we are going to definitely able to find at least some solid, concrete meaning, significance in that survival, and our life again captures meaning, significance, worthwhileness, authenticity in one way or another. But then again, everything inside of life, everything that takes place within this challenge and opposition and contradiction, suffering called life is also equally challenging, dangerous, conflicting, chaotic, and rarely does it ever lead to happiness, pleasure, comfort, alleviation, or nirvana of any kind. But that creates even more puzzles, sufferings, chaos, pains, challenges moving forward, because life is not the place for happiness, it's the place for survival, replacements, and strategies, games, because life is a game of power, and the wise knows that. The fool and the idiot believes that they can always get their way, that if they exercise enough pretense, superficiality, artificiality, possession, if they acquire wealth, riches, then they will be able to survive everything on this earth. And they always believe in partying, revelry. But that is not everything. Because when life strikes them, when they're ultimately confronted with and inevitably encountered with the futility, meaninglessness, suffering, tragedy, and challenge that life itself is in, then they are destroyed in one way or another, and so are we. So we're caught in the crossfire of the challenges of life, and not only are we limited by man-made inventions and creations of society, education, culture, public, materialistic possession, capitalism, but we're ultimately trapped and dominated, domesticated by time, space, reality,